892 days to New Hang. Fear and Greed Index is at 21, which is extreme fear. Fear and Greed Index went back to the September lows. The lowest point in September was 20%, and the current would be 21 that we are trading right now, which is extreme fear, obviously. And Bitcoin is currently trading at a 54.2k. Yep, yesterday we had a pretty rough sell-off, and 53.5k was the lowest point of the daily candle that we had, the lowest point of the current sell-off. So 53k area is kind of working for us as a nice support, still working for us as a nice support, still not broken. Obviously hoping for a nice recovery from this support to the upside, which would be pretty nice, but we got plenty of resistances here to break, plenty of downtrend resistances, and a fixed resistances like 60k that is still not broken, got tested a lot of times, still not broken, so you can consider it as a pretty strong resistance. So let's move on to the 4-hour time frame indicators. 5200 MA is above the current trading candle, which is pretty bad. RSI is slightly oversold, which is pretty nice. MACD is in a red phase, but there is some curves to the upside to have some momentum, bullish momentum, so it's pretty nice. On a daily time frame, MACD is in a red phase, RSI is slightly oversold, and 50 and 200 MA we're currently trading in the middle of 50 to 100 MA. 50 is above, 200 below, so it's kind of a neutralish position at 250 MA on the daily time frame. And obviously we had a lower low close, we had a lower low on the previous daily candle, so nothing positive there is for sure. On the weekly time frame, we are currently trading obviously slightly below the middle of October, so that's pretty bad. On the weekly time frame, MACD is still in a green phase, but there's some curves to the downside, which is pretty bad. RSI is kind of neutral on the weekly. Monthly time frame is kind of looking positive, except of the RSI that is slightly overbought actually. So yeah, that's pretty much all TA for the Bitcoin today. BTC dominance flat 42.3, nothing special happening there. So yeah, and stock market had a pretty rough close, as you can imagine, 4.6k roughly close on S&P. So yeah, that's pretty much all TA for the day. Let's move on to the news. Today we got some lot of positive news, which is pretty amazing actually. But and there's also some speculation around why the markets, because stock market, crypto market dropped, all of the markets dropped, and one of the reasons to blame is new COVID variant. But I would say it's actually not the reason. It's probably the trigger of the current sell-off. The reason why we are having such a big pullback is because markets were overpriced. Like stock market was up plus 28%, 29% year to date, so that's like 2x on the average growth for the S&P. So you can imagine that's the reason, but the trigger was obviously, you can name any trigger, probably would work for the current crash. So let's move on to the positive news, because that's what we need. Major Estonian bank starts offering crypto trading via Bitstamp. So there's some positive news from Estonia. We never had actually positive news from Estonia or any news, but as you can imagine, Estonia is actually positive on the Bitcoin. Also, 2 Bitcoin funds launched in Singapore by MAS regulated fund manager. There is so there's 2 Bitcoin funds that was launched in Singapore. So again, more adoption and growth for Bitcoin. In this case, it was in Singapore, so it is pretty worldwidely adoption is happening. Also, new German government cites crypto in coalition agreement, so it would be like a law of crypto assets and businesses, so there would be like a law for that thing. So again, and the more adoption from Germany. So we are getting like some big worldwide news from literally every country in the world, so, and thank God, a positive one. So for the long term, obviously it's what we need. That's what we need. But for the short term, obviously we can hold those dips and obviously actually buy those dips, because again, fear and greed index is at 21, which should make you greedy actually, not fearful, because that's how this thing supposed to work. Like buy the fear, sell the greed. So yeah, hoping for a nice bounce from this current 53k support area, and obviously for the 60k breakout and new all-time high maybe in the next month, next year, who knows. We'll see. Also VIX, which is the what is this goddamn volatility index of the stock market, is pumping big time. So yeah, to the moon.